I haven't used a soap in 10 years. But wait, it isn't as bad as it sounds. At Krya, we have a no soap policy, but we didn't actually start this way. In fact, in 2013, I made my very first batch of soaps after a lot of research and fully intending to have a wide range of soaps at Krya. So I started my batch of soaps by buying the best organic olive oil, the best coconut oil money could buy, and saponified it the old-fashioned way using sodium hydroxide, cured it over a good 4 weeks, and I had a batch of extremely good-looking soaps, about 3 dozen pieces of them. But by the end of the year, I had stopped using soaps personally. I gave up on the plan of making a soap range or a soap line at Krya, and in fact decided to completely switch over to Snana choornams and formulate and make a wide range of Snana choornams for Krya. So what prompted this change of heart? The Ayurvedic texts go into a great deal of detail about how skin evolves, what are the right herbs to use for skin, what are the functions of skin, even a mention of the microbiome colony that is hosted on skin, what is the right nutrition and diet for skin, and the many different rogas or diseases of skin, and how to take care of skin in different seasons and for different prakritis. But not once in any of this is there any mention of using a product like a soap, which is an alkaline product made by saponifying fat with a lye like sodium hydroxide. Now, what could be the reason for this? It's not that soap making is a complex process. In fact, it's one of the easiest products to make, which is why it is one of the biggest cottage industries in every country. The easiest business to start is actually making a soap because it requires no major equipment, very cheap raw materials, and doesn't even require complicated machinery. You can just stir by hand and make a soap. Second, it's not that India did not have access to lye or alkalis like sodium hydroxide, because we have a lot of mentions of products called sharas, and sharas have been used in Ayurveda, and we have natural sharas which are detailed in the Ayurvedic text for different internal and external purposes. So it's not that the ancients did not know or of the existence of an alkali which could then use which you could then use to saponify a fat. Third, it was not that we never came across a soap. So ancient India was in constant trade touch with different ancient civilizations like the Roman civilization, which actually was a pioneer in soap making. So surely in all these trade routes we would have definitely come across the existence of a soap, and we might have even seen natives using it. But still, despite all of these facts available to us, Ayurveda and ancient India did not take up the use of soap, nor did they recommend it either for laundry or skincare. Because of its strong alkaline nature, a soap is unsuitable for regular use on skin. It is extremely strong, it is a very harsh cleanser. It actually washes away the healthy microbiome on the skin, and it alters the natural pH of the skin, which is mildly acidic, for a brief period of time every time we use a soap. And at that time, when our pH is altered, the skin is left vulnerable to colonization by invasive disease-causing bacteria and other microorganisms. So instead of an alkaline product like a soap, what the Ayurvedic texts recommend to cleanse skin every day and take care of it and maintain it in its optimal health is a Snana choornam. Now, what is the definition of a Snana choornam? A Snana choornam is a specialized choornam or an Ayurvedic herbal blend which is used for Snana. Now, Snana is of great importance in Ayurveda. Snana is considered a Nitya Karma. So here is where Ayurveda's definition of what a bath powder or a Snana choornam needs to do starts changing from a simple cleansing product like a soap. Because a Snana is a Nitya Karma, the Ayurvedic texts say that a Snana or a bath should actually not just cleanse skin, it should do a little bit more, so that we are set up every day to tackle the day well and to discharge our duties and responsibilities well through the day. In fact, a good Snana does so much more than simply cleansing your skin or removing dirt or removing body odor. Acharya Sushruta in the Sushruta Samhita gives us 15 benefits of a properly done Snana. Some of these benefits include restoring vitality to the body, reducing anxiety and stress, removing exertion and fatigue, kindling the appetite, reducing pitta dosha symptoms in the skin like a burning sensation on skin, redness and inflammation, reducing kapha dosha imbalance on skin. which is itching or can't do, and improving the vitality and the santushta of the person after a bath. Now, obviously, if you're looking at such a big set of benefits and not just merely cleansing the skin, then the product we use also has to be in line with this big set of benefits. And it cannot be a simple alkaline soap, it has to be a well formulated Snana choornam. A properly researched, technically formulated Snana choornam is mildly acidic. Skin's pH is 5.5 and the Snana choornam also has a pH which is close to this. It is usually made with a combination of lentils and grains, clays, Ayurvedic resins and Ayurvedic herbs. Now the choice of each of these ingredients, whether it is the grain, the lentil, the clay, the resin or the herbs, depends upon the prakriti for whom we are formulating and the exact skin concern we are trying to formulate for. For example, at Krya we have a wide range of Snana choornams which is formulated for different prakriti types and different skin and body concerns. So if you take the problem of very sour and strong body odor, this is typically seen when we have a pitta imbalance. Now this pitta imbalance could be inherent because we have a prakriti where the pitta itself is high, or it could be due to the fact that we are living in a season where the pitta levels in the atmosphere are naturally high. So we start seeing sour and strong body odor. So for tackling this particular problem, we have formulated the Krya Classic Body Wash, which works on the imbalanced Pitta dosha using the correct herbs for this particular concern. The other concern that we could have is dry, flaky skin. Now again, this could be due to two reasons. Inherently our vata levels are high in the body, so we are generally, our nourishment and moisture levels in skin and hair are low. So we could have perpetually dry and flaky skin, or we could be living in a very cold and dry climate which is actually aggravating the vata levels topically on the skin. And therefore for this kind of concern we have the Krya Moisture Plus Snana choornam, which has been formulated with certain kinds of herbs and resins and the correct Ayurvedic herbs which actually work on this vata imbalance in the skin. Now there's a big burgeoning interest in DIY bath powders and uptans because people have understood the value of good Ayurvedic formulations and how making small changes in your dinacharya and your routine can actually lead to big health benefits. Now a soap is never going to give you all the 15 benefits that Acharya Sushruta talked about in a proper Snana. But here's the issue. We often don't know the technicalities behind choosing the correct herbs or the correct ingredients for our Snana choornam, and we may not know what is correct for our skin type or our prakriti, or what we need to change depending upon the ritu we are living in or the season. So what tends to happen is that if you go online looking for recipes of DIY bath powders, or even look at small companies which make Ayurvedic or homemade bath powders and uptans, you will find a repetition of certain kinds of herbs and ingredients because these are easy to source, commonly available and commonly understood by people. So you will find that these uptans or these recipes contain a lot of turmeric, a lot of orange peel powder, the use of grains like moon, and the use of certain herbs like vetiver and sandalwood. Now there is nothing wrong with this formulation. It is a good basic formulation to start with, but many of these herbs may not be suitable for everyone, and they may not be right if you are having a certain kind of skin concern. For example, turmeric is a very hot Ushna Dravya. It does not suit people who have already a pitta aggravation on skin. So if you end up using a product, or if you end up formulating something based on a recipe which contains a lot of turmeric, and you use it in summer where the natural temperature is also high and your pitta dosha is also aggravated, you might end up getting prickly heat or skin sensitivity or pitta based inflammation in the skin, leading us to the wrong conclusion that Ayurvedic Snana choornams are bad. The issue is not that the Snana choornam is bad, but the issue is that we have picked the wrong formulation. We don't know how to formulate for ourselves, or the company that is manufacturing this product has not taken into account different prakritis and different seasons. The joy and the feeling of happiness after a good Snana has to be experienced. It cannot be explained by somebody else. And I have experienced this joy over the last 11 years using the Krya Snana choornams. If you have never tried an authentic Ayurvedic Snana choornam, I invite you to try from our extensive Snana choornam range today. I've left the links to our products in the description box below. I hope you'll take a look at our products. Thank you for watching.